Hello, everybody. I hope y'all can hear me okay. I'm in the car. I'm in traffic. So I was like, Cheryl, perfect time, okay, to go live. I know it's been a minute since since I've been here. So, well, let me tell you guys. So I've been doing a lot of stuff, right? But yesterday, I I've been working on some things regarding marketing course that my friend and I are creating. Okay. And in that, we're looking for different strategies and things. So the course is around leadership, women in particular being leaders in organizations. And in looking at that, of course, I looked up various biases, and because it's not a training for women leading an organization, especially when she's you have men that she's leading, is not going to be the same. All right, it is not the same. There are different challenges there for a woman. So in all that research and writing and everything, for some reason, I know what it was. It was the marketing part. Guilt, like the reasons why we spend. And guilt was something that came up. So then I went to say, I asked myself, okay, so what is guilt? I didn't go to Google it. I'm like figuring this out. So what is it? Okay. What is it? Right. And in looking at it, I realized, Cheryl, you don't really know what this is. So I'm thinking about it. And the conclusion I came to is guilt is just stuff you do. Like a synonym for guilt would be like uh act or uh doing or something, so if like right now I'm driving my car, so I'm guilty of driving my car, right? So it's if you take out the good, bad, the morality part, the right and wrong part, guilt is just stuff you do. You're guilty of like, what did you do? It's got nothing to do with right or wrong. Okay. So I'm like, okay, guilt is just stuff you do, which goes back to what I talked about in that other video about change. Remember? Um, Change is just when stuff is different, and how does change occur? When you do, or something is done, you know? So guilt and change go together. So I asked my son, my 12-year-old, I said, what's the opposite of guilt? So he thought about it. He was like, I don't know. He said, is it happiness? I said, I don't think so. So, so we're both thinking about it. Like, what's the opposite of guilt? And, of course, you're either guilty or you're not guilty, right? So innocence. Y'all, this is a whole rabbit hole. Okay, it's a whole rabbit hole. So, so last night, so we went swimming yesterday. Ooh, y'all, I learned how to swim. Okay, I am 47 years old and I just learned how to swim. So we went swimming last night, and when I came back home, I talked to my boyfriend about it. And I said, and I'm still trying to talk it through. Trying to get, wrap my head around it, because I discovered something new, okay, that I never considered before, and I get excited about stuff like that. Okay, so we're talking about it, and I said, you know what? I think that guilt is not about what you did. Because if I'm guilty of driving the car, then that's just something I did. But the feeling, when people feel guilty, I said, that's different. And I think that when we feel guilt and we don't like it, many of us don't like when we feel guilty. Okay. But what does that mean? I'm talking to him about this, right? And I said, you know what I think it means? is that when I feel guilty, what I'm actually feeling is innocence. Okay, because normally when we say, and I gave them an example, right? That, somebody asked me for something and I said no. So then they went away and I don't know, maybe they're homeless or something. I don't know. But then I say, well, maybe I feel guilty, about saying no. It's not that I feel guilty about saying, I feel, because guilt, like I said, is what you do. So what I did was say no. That's not what I feel guilty because I'm innocent of doing something else. So what I wanted to say was yes, but I didn't say yes. So I'm not guilty of saying yes. Do you know what I mean? Like it kind of gets a little weird, but the feeling of guilt goes with something you did not do. It goes with your innocence around something, you know? So that's when it's kind of like regret, like I should have done that, but I did this instead, because there's really no, and don't think about the courtroom. Don't think about, all that stuff. I'm just talking about something. You either did something, you're either guilty of something or you're innocent of doing something, meaning either you did it or you didn't. There's no morality in there anywhere. Okay. You either drank the Coke or you didn't drink it. You either walked across the room or you didn't walk across the room. Do you know what I mean? So I'm actually going to have to make like a drawing of this. Okay. Because it's important, because now I've always associated change with accountability. And what was the other thing? Is change, accountability, and choosing. Okay. Now we have guilt in there, right? And when you look at it from a non-dual perspective, it really stands out. Like it really, how we would feel bad for being innocent, I mean, listen, I'm telling you. How we feel bad for, because I think it was what's that dude name who was always talking about the Course in Miracles? Who was that guy? He was like the main one talking about that. Ken. What was his name? Ken. I think it was Ken Wapnick, something like that. But he said in something he wrote, I forget, when he was talking to these ladies about, they were talking to him about overeating, how they wanted to lose weight, and they kept overeating and they didn't know why, and all this. And I don't remember the whole thing, but I know at the end he was telling them that the issue here is not about eating, it's not about chocolate, it's not about anything you're doing. Okay. He said the issue is everything that's happening. And I mean everything, whether you feel like you have control over it or not, everything. If blinking, your heart beating, the thoughts coming in your head, everything, going to the bathroom, all that. All of that is evidence, he said. In our psyche, all of that is evidence of our guilt. It's evidence of something that we did. And when I say we, I mean, us as a collective, is evidence of something that we did in our faces, or like all the time. No matter if we're happy, sad, it doesn't matter. Any movement at all, he was saying, is evidence of your guilt. Okay, so that's what he was telling them. He was like, you could call it what you want, whatever. But what you can do is now look at everything, instead of evidence of guilt, it's evidence of innocence. Like this is everything that's happening right now, all the feelings that you're going through, all of that. Just look at it as evidence that you didn't do anything. Okay? That you did absolutely nothing. It's a change in perspective. And the reason why I'm tying this to what I'm saying here, hi Naomi, that I'm tying this to what I'm saying here, because if we feel like in everyday life, just going on in your day-to-day stuff, okay? And we feel guilty, then the question to ask is not what did I do, or the question to ask somebody else who comes to you and says, I really feel guilty about whatever. The question is not what did I do, but what are you innocent of? What are you innocent of? Which is a totally different question to ask yourself if you feel guilty, or somebody else when they come to you saying that they feel guilty. It's a totally, and to see that we don't want to be guilt free. Like it's really, it's a whole child. I mean, we all twisted up. We don't want to be innocent, but we do. We don't want to be innocent, but we do at the same time. At the very it's that foot on the brake and accelerator thing going on at the same time. And so all of this came from me looking at various biases and that women deal with in the workplace, especially when they're in leadership positions. And I've been interviewing different women to talk about that. But that, so y'all know every single thing I do, okay, has a little sprinkle of this non-dual perspective in it. I mean, it's like it's just there. It's like all my kids got a little bit of Cheryl, because it just naturally, comes, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited about this thing. I think this is going to be something different than what's already out there. But my issue is I have to be able to talk to people, in a way that they can get what I'm saying. Because listen, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm going to need some assistance from people. So I have to talk to different people about this, and say, this is what I'm saying, but how can I say it in a way where, people ain't looking at me weird? Like, girl, what are you talking about? But we're going to get it together, though. All right, y'all, I'm at my destination. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I'm going to be back. Okay, I've just been super duper busy, but I got to tell y'all about what I'm learning as I'm learning how to swim. Okay. And while I'm swimming, I'm seeing, now there's a lot about trust here, right? As I'm swimming. Okay. And I've only been doing it for like 2 weeks now. Okay. Only 2, but I'm getting better, but I'm getting better because not because of what I'm doing. I'm getting better because I am trusting. I'm putting more trust in the water. I'm telling you, I am literally telling myself while I'm in the water that the water can be trusted. Like the water is what it is going to do what water does. Cheryl, don't feel like, if you just let go, that the water going to come up and just change its whole molecular structure and start, trying to drown you or something. I'm actually having to have those kinds of conversations with myself, okay? And Cheryl, girl, calm down, all right? The water is going to do what it's going to do. A lot of me learning how to swim is that kind of self-talk. It's not about, Cheryl, move your arms like this, move your legs like that, put your head, now breathe. No. About 80% is me trusting the water to be what it is. I'm telling you, listen, I got a whole sermon, okay, about swimming and trust, okay? It's crazy. So there's that, and there's the course that I was just telling you about, and some other things that are going on. So, but I'm going to be back. Thank y'all for hanging out with me while I drive to the store. I will be back soon, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye, Naomi. Thank you so much.